All right, NXT starts off with Chelsea Green versus Soroka for the US for the Women's US Championship. This match ended up getting official last week when Chelsea, Piper, Zarya, and So ended up having a segment last week, if I'm not mistaken. Um, this was a fine match. Chelsea Greens are picking up the victory. I would like these matches if they're going to go to NXT to happen more so on SmackDown because SmackDown needs bodies. They need more women for Chelsea Green, and it will be entertain. It will be interesting to see NXT women to get some shine on the main roster, especially if they're going to call up some of these women. I don't know if they're going to call up some of these women outside of maybe Julia and Stephanie for the most part, but if they do end up calling out other women, it would be nice to have them get a little bit of shine. That way, the main roster would get adjusted, get used to seeing them. But overall, this was a fine match. But I would like these matches to be on the main roster. I just think it would be better for Chelsea's Green title reign. But it was a fine match. Chelsea Green retained. She picks up the victory as she should, and she is still your women's U.S. champion. After this, though, we end up getting Stephanie Vaquer. She ends up cutting a very good English promo, very solid promo. Jordan Grace then comes out, was about to call her shot, but then you end up getting Jada Parker coming out, attacking Jordan Grace. Then she gets in the ring and calls her shot for Stephanie Vaquer. So next week it will be Jada Parker versus Stephanie Vaquer, but also it's going to be Fallon Henley as well. Fallon Henley for the past few weeks has been complaining about getting her rematch. She finally gets it due to Stephanie being willing to give it to her, but she's gonna have to face Jada Parker as well next week. So she's gonna have two championship matches, which I am very interested and I'm very worried because the problem with this is that I have a feeling that they're going to do the bad thing, which is have Jada Parker and Fallon Henley lose to Stephanie. Now, this is a good way to have Stephanie drop one of those titles if you're going to have her lose. But the problem is, I don't know which title is for. I think it's for the NXT Championship. No, I think Jada Parker is fighting for the NXT Championship, and then Fallon is fighting for the North American Championship. I think that's how they're doing it. So if that is the plan, this could be a good way for her to drop the North American Championship because I am hoping that they're not going to do what I think they're doing, which is the Kalani Jordan effect, where they basically have her damn near defeat an entire faction. Because they did that with Kalani Jordan. Actually, I think Kalani Jordan won that match, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong. But I'm hoping they don't do the Kalani Jordan effect, where they just have her defeat everybody in the faction. I hope this is not the case where they have her put on some 10 to 15 minute match with Jada Parker, then do another 10 to 15 minute match right after and have her beat both of them. That should not be the case. I think Stephanie Vaquer needs to lose that North American Championship. As much as it's cool to see her with both titles, it is. But this NXT roster is too talented for them to have a woman holding both titles. And plus, the North American Championship is not even that old for the women. It's like a year old. I don't even know if it even is a year old. It might be a year old at this point. But it's still new. Like it should not be having someone hold both of them. I just don't think so. Also, Jordan Grace. I don't know where she's gonna play a factor into this. I'm assuming that it may be some type of interference in that match due to Jada Parker attacking Jordan Grace, so they could play that story as well. But yeah, they need to get, as much as I like Stephanie Vaquer, they need to get one of those titles off of her, mainly the North American, because the NXT roster is way too talented for someone to hog both titles, and the main event scene is kind of already stacked with Stephanie, Julia, and Jordan Grace. Have the mid card women have something to fight over. You should not have a main eventer holding the main championship and the mid card championship, because the NXT women's division is stacked, but it's mainly stacked in terms of the mid card, because the main event scene is really just three women. I like that Jada Parker is getting inserted into the main event scene because once Stephanie, Julia, and Jordan Grace leave, because they shouldn't be there long, Jada Parker is like the most ready for that main event spot outside of maybe Zarya, in my opinion. So I'm liking what they're doing with Jada Parker. We'll see how this plays out, but I'm hoping they're not gonna have Stephanie beat both Jada and Fallon Henley. But that's what I think they're going with. After this though, we end up getting Hank and Tank versus Josh Briggs and I keep forgetting his name. The New Japan guy. I did not watch this match at all. I didn't care for this match because this match had no importance. This match started mainly because when the Hardys was on NXT, Josh Briggs won an opportunity, and Hank and Tank also won an opportunity as well. That leads to a brawl. This is going nowhere. I only included this really in the video just to stretch the video out, if I'm being honest, because I don't care. Yeah, I have nothing to say. Josh Briggs and the New Japan guy won. I don't know why they're pushing this tag team so hard. I don't get it, but it is what it is. After this, though, we end up getting the family versus the calling a six-man tag between Luca Crucifino, Channing Stacks, and Adriana Rizzo versus Izzy Dame, Nico, and Brooks Jensen. Tony D'Angelo ended up staying backstage due to Channing Stacks saying that it was best for him to stay backstage so that way they want to attack him, injuring his back, so that way when he get a rematch, he'd be fully healthy. But that plan backfired because the you know what? Even though this is more of an insult, even though I don't know what to call this faction because they haven't given us a name, but I'm just gonna call them Timu Shield. Even though I don't think they're Timu Shield or Discount Shield, whatever, but I'm just gonna call them Discount Shield because I don't know what else to call them, to be honest. The Discount Shield group ended up coming out attacking Tony D'Angelo. This distracts the family, of course, and then the calling ended up picking up the victory after that match. I like the story that they're telling here. I don't know what the end goal is here because I'm hoping the end goal isn't for Tony D'Angelo to pick up the victory. I'm hoping this end goal is more so Channing Stacks than Tony D'Angelo because they looks like they're teasing Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks potentially feuding. That's what it looks like it's going, and it looks like it is headed that direction because with Tony D'Angelo getting attacked, Tony D'Angelo could easily blame Channing Stacks for that and feel like he should have been out there with them, so they could easily play their story. Because I don't think Tony D'Angelo should be getting the North American Championship back, in my opinion. I think Shawn Spears should eventually move on to other competitors, in my opinion. But overall, I like what they did here. After this, we end up getting Jacy Jayne versus Carmen Petrovic. This match got made due to something that happened over a month ago where Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley and them ended up attacking Carmen Petrovic for no reason. There was really no reason for them attacking her. And then they had that whole thing where Jordan Grace and Stephanie and Julia all came out for the say. It was very weird. It was no reason for them to do that. It was really just to have Jordan Grace to have a match on NXT. But they finally made this a match where towards the end of the match, you get Ashanti ended up throwing a chair in the ring to help Carmen. Carmen refused to use it. Then Carmen ends up losing the match. Now, the story that they're going to tell here is that Carmen is going to blame Ashanti, which they end up doing because they end up showing like a segment where in the background you could see Ashanti and Carmen arguing. They're going to play the story of obviously Carmen is going to blame Ashanti for the loss, even though that doesn't really make much sense because if you watch the match, Carmen actually had the advantage on Jacy Jayne after she threw the chair, so I don't understand how you could really blame Ashanti for the loss, even though because you had the advantage. But I guess, but that's the story that they're going to tell. After this, we end up getting Ricky Saints versus Ridge Holland. I am not going to speak that much about this match. Ricky Saints picks up the victory. I'm interested to see what he does at Stand and Deliver because he's easily one of their top stars already, and he's one of their most interesting stars already. I just don't. Did I say Ricky Starks? I meant to say Ricky Saints, but I might have said Ricky Saints, but I don't know what he does at Stand and Deliver because it seems like every person for the most part has a direction. I don't know who Ricky Saints face at Stand and Deliver, especially due to the main event that just happens. The only person I could think of is maybe Ethan Page. That might be the best solution for him actually. Ethan Page can put over Ricky. Yeah, that might be the best solution. Then Ethan could go to the main roster. That might be the best solution because I don't know what he does at Stand and Deliver. Then we get the main event: Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe in an underground match. A very quick underground match. Trick Williams wins. I'm not gonna really go in depth of the match, but it was very quick, which I'm not gonna complain about because no offense, I am over this Trick Williams Eddie Thorpe feud, and this should be the end of the feud. Trick wins. Then he calls out Obafemi. Obafemi comes out. Then you end up getting the Discount Shield. They come out. It looks like they're about to attack, but then you end up getting Javon Evans. He comes out, tries to I don't know why he was out there. I think he was trying to stop them from fighting, but Trick Williams pushes Javon Evans. Then Trick and Oba ends up brawling. Then you end up getting Javon Evans hitting a cutter on Oba to end it, and then Trick Williams and Vaughn end up having a stare down. Okay, this is interesting, but also very confusing because Trick Williams and Javon did have a segment earlier in the show where they was going back. Well, mainly Trick was being very rude to Javon, not really listening to what Javon is saying. He's very disrespectful. So I understand why Javon acted the way he acted in this segment. I'm just interested in see, are they really about to make this into a triple threat? Because Honestly, I'm interested and I'm not interested. The reason why is because if you're gonna make this a triple threat, I feel like this is a perfect time for. I'm not gonna say Oba should lose because I don't think he should lose it anytime soon, but that's the only logical reason I could really think if you want to make this a triple threat. Because if you're not gonna have Oba lose, I really don't see the purpose of having Javon in this feud. That's just me personally. I could be wrong, but now the match will be a lot better with Javon in it. But if you're not gonna just do a one-on-one match between Trick and Oba, then I feel like Javon should win here because he will be the ultimate underdog, and you could easily just have Oba avoid the pin, or, but I just don't want to, unless you just don't want Trick or Oba not taking the pin, and then Javon is the one taking the pin, I guess. But overall, this was a good show. I did like Discount Shield. I hate that I'm calling them that because I don't think that, but that's the only name I could think of. I did like Discount Shield in this episode because they end up revealing themselves. They end up having a good backstage segment as well where they was all speaking for the most part. I love the guy in the do-rag. I love the guy in the do-rag was amazing. Dion Lennox cut a really great backstage segment. They was really good as talkers for the most part. I love what they're doing here. I love them just causing chaos and havoc, and it was actually hilarious because the reason why they was in the main event was because they ended up saying that they didn't cause enough chaos and havoc, so they went back into the arena to cause more, which I actually love. This was overall a really good show. I enjoyed what they did here. You guys let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.